What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Marc. So I come at you today with the news that, of course, Newcastle are revisiting the deal for James Trafford. Now, before I get into, of course, talking about that, I want to cover, of course, the images circulating around of Kieran Trippier, of course, during the Bournemouth match yesterday, where he was pictured, of course, with his head in his hands on the bench. And then, of course, the images was seen at the end of the match where he was going off and applauding the away fans that travelled down to the game. Very emotional as he was walking off the field as well. Does this mean that that is the end for Kieran Trippier at Newcastle United? Well, in my personal opinion, it doesn't look good at the end of the day. It looks like it is a goodbye from Kieran Trippier. That's just my opinion. I haven't seen anything, said by Newcastle United that that is the end of Kieran Trippier at Newcastle United. But it does look like it is a farewell to the fans at the Vitality Stadium. Of course, for all the Newcastle fans that travelled down there, Kieran Trippier throwing his shirt into the crowd as well at the end of the match, leaving the field in tears. And if it is, the end of Kieran Trippier at Newcastle United, I thank him for everything that he's done. He took that leap to move from Atletico Madrid, where he had just won the La Liga the previous season. He was part of the team of the season as well for La Liga the previous season. And he was taking a leap from that, where it was pretty stable. He was wanted by Diego Simeone still, even though Newcastle were being linked with him, and he took the jump from Atletico Madrid across to Newcastle, who were, of course, at the time we were down in a relegation battle, staring relegation in the face. We'd just gotten a takeover, we'd just got Eddie Howe in, and Kieran Trippier took that leap to be the first signing under our owners, under Eddie Howe, and I thank him for that, because he took that leap. He took a chance that not a lot of players would have took in a situation that he was in. He was still wanted at Atletico Madrid, and he took that leap. So, he deserves the respect and the admiration from us Newcastle United fans for what he has done for this club. He's been a leader on and off the pitch. At one point, he was on crutches. He had his leg in a brace, and he was still travelling home and away with the lads, and supporting the lads. So that, for me, deserves respect. All this news going around, about his personal life problems, I'm not going to read anything into that. I'm not going to say anything about that, because we don't know, that is for certain that is what is going on here, So I don't want to read into that. I don't want to talk about that, to be honest. It's about Kieran Trippier, the footballer. Kieran Trippier and what he has done for Newcastle United. And what he has done for Newcastle United fully deserves the respect from us fans. And there's nothing to say neither that, the stuff going around is actually Kieran Trippier. Could easily be any other player, but people are just jumping straight to conclusions and saying that it's Trippier. But I want to say, if that is the final game for Kieran Trippier as a Newcastle United player, thank you for everything you've done for Newcastle United, and to whatever you'll do in your career, good luck with it. Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall yesterday going into the game talking, with Sky Sports, and saying that Kieran Trippier has been talking about maybe he's going into managing. I'd be happy to see him as a manager. Maybe he could be a manager in Newcastle's youth team to start off with, get his foot in the door. Maybe we could help him out with that. But moving away from the Kieran Trippier stuff, of course, to talk about James Trafford. Now, Craig Hope's come out and he said that Newcastle United always planned to revisit the James Trafford deal. James Trafford himself believes he can still join Newcastle this week, and he did say as well he thought the deal was closer earlier in the summer, and no personal terms issues neither. With Trafford, he's well and truly happy to join Newcastle United, and I'm sure he is. He's coming from Burnley to Newcastle United. That would be fantastic for him. And of course, we've seen it in the past, when we took Nicky Pope from Burnley and moved him to Newcastle United. So he'd be coming into the club, and he'd be able to go under Kieran Trippier. Nicky Pope, not Kieran Trippier. Under Nicky Pope, learn from Nicky Pope, and then, of course, be able to slot himself in as the number one in Newcastle United when it comes time for Pope to move on. But there is a slight issue with it, and the slight issue is that Newcastle will need to loan or sell at least one of our goalkeepers, if not both of our goalkeepers, because we do have quite a few goalkeepers on the books for this Premier League season, registered for this Premier League season. We've got Flacademos, we've got Gills, we've got obviously Nicky Pope, we've got Dubravka, and we've got John Ruddy. So we've got 5 goalkeepers already on the books for this Premier League season. So we do need to loan or sell at least one, if not both, of the goalkeepers that we've got. And at the moment, the ones being mentioned, of course, are Audi, who's just came in from Nottingham Forest, and Martin Dubravka. Now, Martin Dubravka obviously has been on loan in the past to Man United, not that long ago. Audi's only just came in from Nottingham Forest, but there is news going around in Belgium saying that he's being linked with Anderlecht. So maybe, we could see Martin Dubravka and Audi both going out the door, and James Trafford coming in. Now, I'd be happy with that, to be honest, because looking at it, James Trafford is a very young keeper. He's going to be, possibly England's number 1 goalkeeper in the future as well. So getting him in now would be great. Get him a chance to settle in Newcastle, learn from Nicky Pope, and be able to apply himself to Newcastle, and be able to apply himself as well for a chance to get himself in for the World Cup squad in 2026 as well. So it's a great deal. It'll be great to see him join Newcastle United. But at the moment, as of now, it's just basically talks, basically rumours. No official bid being put in by Newcastle United yet, from what I can see of. And Craig Hope is just talking about the fact that we have always intended to revisit the deal. So we are inquiring about him, but there's been no physical bid put in yet for James Trafford. And on the Marc Guehi side of things, it still looks like that one is going on as well. It still looks like that saga's continuing on the Marc Guehi side of things. Hopefully that gets, some sort of climax to it. Hopefully there's some sort of finish to the Marc Guehi situation before the transfer window closes. It would be nice to get Marc Guehi in into that right centre back position and help out this season. Obviously he's been given the captaincy at Palace. If that's something to go off, is he's going to stay at Palace now because he's been given captaincy. But I did say, when he was playing, that the Palace players all went down the tunnel and Marc Guehi stayed out, and he gave a round of applause and that to the fans, and he looked pretty emotional as well. So maybe it's a similar situation to Kieran Trippier, saying his goodbyes to the fans before moving on with a move to another club. And who knows? Only time will tell. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the match preview against Nottingham Forest in the coming days. Of course, we're playing them on the 28th, so there'll probably be a match preview up either later on today or tomorrow morning, going in, of course, for that one. But let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. All right, lads.